Welcome to Deep Thought. Many versions of you exist in other people's minds. Many versions. You know what? I saw some on IG and it was someone talking about like there are many versions of yourself, but they're in other people's minds. And I thought about that. That's deep. And I'll use myself for an example. People are always surprised when they really meet me. It never fails. It never, ever fails. It never fails. It's like, especially in person. Even on the physicality, a lot of people would think, oh, well, Rom, he just 5. I've gotten anywhere from 5'6" to 5'8". Now, whenever I've met people in public, I lost track of how many times they'd be like, he's taller than I thought he was. Yeah. I'm like, oh, well, yeah, I am. But people had that idea. Or even when people watch my different videos. Like if somebody just watched Deep Thought videos, they would think, oh, he's just, he's that guy read all the time, right? Shoot, I even saw a comment, somebody screenshotted a comment, somebody had called me a nerd. I was like, yeah, be proud of it. Wish I was, but I've had some other people who see me in the real world, they be thinking, I've had a couple people, like in the area, dudes think, when we first saw you walking through, you had that mean look. We thought you were a thug. I was like, oh, shoot. I had some people thinking that. I remember I was doing something down in Atlanta, this film that I had participated in, No More Mr. Nice Guy. And, the director, cool brother, Smooth T-Mac, he was like, wow, you come off as intellectual on your videos, but I'm seeing you down here. He was like, oh, shoot, because we were filming in some rough areas, but he saw how comfortable I was, And it's so much, and I've noticed that with myself, and I just laugh about it because I said, the theys can't get a good read on me. So that's not a bad thing, but then, like I said, I saw that one reel and stuff talking about many versions, and I thought about myself, how many times people have many versions of me and still can't really get an idea. Some people even asked. It's like, man, I can't read you. I've had people tell me that. I was like, okay. Many versions, because people are going to see what they're comfortable in. See, when we look at anybody, first of all, we don't look and see what's actually there. We look at and see what we're comfortable with. We look at what we see we're comfortable with. You're like, I'll use an example, like you got some racist whites, right? They're not comfortable with an intelligent black person. They're not comfortable. They think something wrong, Or even some who don't come off as racist. I remember back in the day, this white woman had hooked me up with a friend of hers. And she said, I think y'all, and it got back to me that she thought we'd make a good couple because we were both socialized white. And we both laughed at that. It was like, no. But that's what she was comfortable with. That's what this one white woman, and she wasn't racist, but that's what she was comfortable seeing, right? And I was just like, that was the version, but somebody else would have a different version. And just think about it. How many often have you met people and you get one who'll say, well, he or she is this or that, but then somebody else will say something different. Because it really comes down to what we're comfortable with, what we are comfortable with. When we see a person, we have an idea. See, it's based on how our own interactions on them, our own biases and prejudices. Everybody has that. Every single person got a bias and prejudice. And people going to see people in a way that they are comfortable with inside. All of us, every single one of us, and everything. And even I thought about it, even though I try to take people as they are, there have been times I've been just wrong. Like I saw, it's an interracial thing. I remember, I'd never forget when I was in a grocery store, I saw this young white woman. And I said, nah, she never be friendly to brothers and stuff. Then when some brothers came in, you would think she grew up with him or something. I was like, oh, okay. I think she was dating one of them. I was like, wow. So even myself, but that's us. But see, what was that? Was that really dealing with the person that was there, or what our own biases are? Because we see people through our filters, and then even when we talk about stuff like stereotypes, and all people have them, all races have them about other groups. Then when they meet somebody who don't match that stereotype, you know, their first thing is, wait a minute, something's wrong. It could actually mess with some people too, because we're so used to that. We're so used to that. We see people in a way that we're comfortable. See, that's the main thing. We don't want to see them as a threat or anything like that. We see a version of them that we think is comfortable, and we live with that version, you know? It good or bad, good or bad. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes, you know, you're doing it for a good reason, at least in your mind, a good reason. But sometimes it could be a bad reason. You wanna think, oh yeah, this person ain't that bright. This person's stupid, and it's really a bias on your part. But it's going to be different people. If 1,000 people see you, most of them, you might have some who have some agreement, but you're going to get several versions of yourself. But that's in their minds. And a lot of them, most of them haven't got to know you personally. Because how often have any one of y'all, you met somebody, you thought one thing, then you got to know them and you saw something else? I've had it happen with me so many times, I just laugh about it. People will say, well, I thought you were this or that, but then, you know, I got to know you, I saw I was this and that. Like, I use that, another example, I've used this before when I was working on this job at this hotel gym. And it was a young lady that came in, I'm supposed to train her, and she came in hard. She came in hard, and I think she had just heard some negative stuff about me, right? So she came in hard, and you know, the first couple of weeks, even the first day I'm training her, she was bucking everything. But then she got to know me over the next few weeks, and she even admitted, she was like, you know, I thought Ron was this way, but I got to know him. He's really this way, right? And that's because she already had a version of me in her mind. The only way I say to really, as best as possible, I'm saying as best as possible, because it's tough even for myself, is try to have an open mind. Try to, like, when you run into somebody, try to sit back and just try to say, okay, what is really there? Don't have any preconceived notions, you know, try to see the whole picture. I'll use myself again. I prefer using myself. I don't like calling out other people, because then if I called out other people, to be honest, it's still my perception. But like, people, they'll see different things depending on the different videos, like whatever they're comfortable with, like the height thing. I'm taller than 5'8", taller than 5'9", taller than 5'10", you know? My height is between 5'10" and 5'11", but still taller, and that's barefoot. But people see what they're comfortable seeing. They're like, oh, well, no, you must be short, you must be this. But then that's a bias. That's a bias on their part. It's like, why? If you haven't seen me in person, you don't know. And you get some people that'll have that, or even if they comment on other content creators, they don't know what's up. You know, they don't know, they ain't right there. You making a decision and trying to think of something and everything, you know? So it's like, and I can think of one time, I'm gonna use that height thing once again, because I remember there was this one, it was when I was attacked by this dude and like 3 women. One of them was a psychologist, and she was like, why? He appears to have Napoleon Syndrome. And I was like, yeah, 5'11", barefoot with a Napoleon Syndrome. Now this supposedly a psychologist, making the decision based on something she ain't really see. One video, and based on really a bias of another guy. Now I want y'all to think about that, you know? But that was a version that existed in her mind, you know, but it wasn't accurate. Like, we don't have an accurate, the only way to really have an accurate view of her, you gotta be around them all the time. And really, the best time is intimate sexually. intimate sexually. That's the only way you have the best idea of a person, because you seeing them, they don't have to wear their mask and everything. But understand, just basically, many versions of you do exist in other people's minds. All right? So anyway, that's all I have for now. I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.